Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is the Temple of You because it's all about you. And today I'm going to go over the five basic principles for a mental foundation. And these are very important, and I will explain in detail what I've been experiencing through using these five basic principles. But first, I want to share with you guys a clip from Your Wish is Your Command, which is in CD 11, and basically just giving you guys an example of what we're dealing with and kind of what we have to break through. So I'm going to play this first, and then we're going to dive into these five basic principles. So let's check it out.
See, an elephant, you know how you train an elephant? Do you ever go to a circus and see these big, powerful, magnificent beasts? And they are chained up with what looks like a relatively small chain around an ankle. One ankle. And this chain around the ankle goes into a stake in the ground. And it doesn't look like it's in cement. Sometimes they just pound these stakes in the ground. And the elephant is just standing. He's not trying to get away. And anytime he feels the slightest pressure on this chain, if he moves his leg and there's the slightest pressure, he just instantly stops. And I was watching this one time and I thought, this is goofy. I'm sure this magnificent, powerful animal could just pull his leg and it would yank that stake right out of the ground. So I talked to one of the guys at the circus and I said, can't that elephant just like yank that stake out of the ground? And the keeper said, yes and no. He has the power to do it, but he can't do it. I go, what do you mean? He goes, see, the way elephants are trained is when they're very small, we put a identical chain around their ankle, one ankle, with an identical chain. But what we do is we don't put it to a stake in the ground. We bolt the chain into cement. So no matter how much effort the elephant puts into trying to escape, he can't escape. And you watch these little baby elephants, they will struggle, they will pull and pull and pull, day after day after day, week after week after week. They will pull trying to escape, and then one day they give up. And they realize that there's no way, no matter how much effort they put, that they can't escape. He goes, the elephant's trained at that point. All you have to do is just tap a stake in the ground, because the moment the elephant moves his leg, he doesn't even move his leg because he's given up. But if he does move his leg and he feels the tightening of the chain, he instantly quits. So that's why the big mammoth adult elephant, which has 100 times more power than the baby, doesn't even try, even though he could, because he doesn't know it. He's an elephant. You see, the elephant is chained there in his mind. The chain means nothing. Harry Houdini was a great story about the escape artist Harry Houdini. He used to go around the world and do magic shows, and in order to drum up business for a show, he would do some publicity stunts. One of which was he would walk into the police station in the town where he was doing this show, and he would challenge the officers to put him in handcuffs and lock them in their best cell. And if Houdini could walk in just with his street clothes on, he guaranteed that he could escape. And he escaped from every cell all over the world. Well, one time in Cologne, Germany, they had built the most technologically advanced and secure maximum security cell anywhere in the world, so they proclaimed. And they said, this is a cell that is inescapable. The lock cannot be picked. Nobody can get out of this cell. It is the best cell anywhere in the world. So Houdini went and challenged the police department, got lots of publicity, lots of cameramen were there, all the newspapers. It's before TV. And Houdini went in, they locked him in the cell and they left. Well, what most people didn't know was Houdini was a master locksmith. And the reason he used to go in with his street clothes, because in his belt, he was searched of course, but in his belt he had a very thin piece of metal, like a wire, which he would use as a pick. And he took out this wire and his various locksmithing tools that were hidden in his belt, and he began to work on trying to pick the lock. And Houdini, being a master locksmith, usually could pick locks within a few minutes. Well, after about 10 minutes, Houdini still hadn't picked the lock. It was a lock he's never seen before. So he began to work and work and work, and another 15 minutes passed, and he still hadn't picked the lock. While the ultimate confident Houdini was now becoming less confident in his abilities. And he began to try to work this lock and work this lock for another half an hour and still couldn't pick the lock. 1 hour later, he was furiously working on this lock. He was dripping with perspiration from head to toe. And he was physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. Over an hour he has been working and he was unable to pick the lock. And he virtually collapsed against the cell door, which sprung open. You see, with all the fanfare, with all the press that was there, the police department shut the door of the cell, but they forgot to lock the lock. True story. Houdini, when you think about it, was locked in that cell for an hour, as securely as ever, because he believed it was locked.
Right.
See, you and I are the same way. We put self-imposed limitations on ourselves. Whether you think you can or if you think you can't, either way you're right. The key is you don't have to know how.
Right.
That is the key. The block that everybody has, every single person, when I sit down and I go, what do you want? 10% of the people, their problem is they don't know what they want. Maybe 20%. Either they don't know what they want, or the way that they're describing what they want is they're really describing what they don't want.
Man, like that whole clip was deep. One thing I want to just touch on real quick. When you don't know what you want to do and you don't know like where you want to go, start with what you did as a child, right? Start with the things that you really enjoyed as a child and people told you it wasn't cool. Your parents told you it was it wasn't something that was easily attainable. Whatever it is, start with the things that you did as a child. For me, I enjoy electronics. I enjoy laptops, phones, computers, just pretty much my whole setup. And I started to tap more into that. I also enjoy helping people. I sell real estate. There's other things that I'm going to educate myself in that craft. I have a TikTok. You can follow me at Derek Christ 777, I think. And that's where I share information about how you overcome these limitations that he was talking about. And we don't even realize how many things is holding us back from just on how we think and what we tell ourselves. And I'm going to show you how we're going to overcome this conditioned program way of thinking. Because whether you believe it or not, whether you think it or not, you are programmed. The minute that you take yourself out of the present moment, you are programmed. When you start thinking about the future, you're thinking about your bills, you're thinking about things not working out for you, and you're just stuck in that loop of overthinking, you're in that program. When you're thinking about your past, you're thinking about your mistakes, you're thinking about the girls you messed over, you're thinking about the people you messed over, or just the embarrassed moments, you're taking yourself out of the present moment, and that is a program. In Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, he talks about that. But we'll talk about that later. But so you have to give your mind a mental foundation. In this lecture, Your Wish is Your Command. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It's out there. You just got to find it. I mean, of course, and I'll share links as much as I can, but it's all about getting that mental foundation. And the first thing is, who do you listen to, right? How to achieve your desires and do so quickly. Who do you listen to? Many of these people, these authors, a lot of these celebrities, these Donald Trumps, Warren Buffett, a lot of these people don't even write their own books, let alone even read their own books. And Kevin Trudeau will break it down and talk more about it. But at the end of the day, they're not telling you the full proof and the full truth. So you don't want to listen to those people. You also don't want to listen to these YouTube gurus and all of these people on social media that's trying to tell you how to get rich quick, because at the end of the day, they're only getting rich off of selling you these formulas on how to get rich. They're not they don't have proof. They don't have examples of people that use what they're doing to get rich. They're just selling this information, and you got to be mindful of that. So most of them, they're just teaching theory. They're not really teaching specifically from their experience on how they made money. They made money selling you that information. So man, you don't want to listen to those people. To make this as simple as I can, is you only listen to the people that have what you want. And it's not a jealousy thing, it's not an envy thing, it's a simple mimic greatness thing, right? You're just mimicking somebody that's showing you this is how they do it, and they get it done. And they can do it full time. But I could tell you, man, this information, it definitely works. It's helped for me tremendously. And my experience with Who Do You Listen To was when I first got into real estate as a real estate agent. When I got into the office, I knew who I needed to listen to, and I went to the top agent. You know, I'm thankful that he was another brother like me, killing it, still killing it to this day. I'm thankful for his wisdom. I'm thankful for the time that he helped me and some of the deals that he, helped me acquire as well. I'm very thankful for that opportunity, and I and I express that a lot. But that was very important, right? You don't listen to the people that's half-ass doing it. You don't listen to the people that used to do it and it didn't make it. You don't listen to your mama. You don't listen to anybody that are not physically showing you either an example of somebody that actually did it, that actually exists, or they're doing it themselves. But at the end of the day, like I spoke in my last video, you rely on your perception and you do your own research. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's like you're mimicking greatness, but you're putting your own spin on that greatness. So, I mean, we can go on and on about who do you listen to, but another thing, if you don't have that direct person of that can show you who did it, there's autobiographies, there's people that have existed in history that has done it. So research that person, research their information, that autobiographies. We are the generation of information. So one of my favorite people I like to look into when it comes to real estate is Kevion Sturdivant. You can look up his story on social media. I'm sure you can find it. But just he calls it a rags to riches to rags to riches because he had to do it over and over again. But his story is very deep. So and he's a real estate agent. So he's somebody that I like to watch and kind of have a foundational where I want to go in real estate. All right, so the number 2 principle to the mental foundation is the teachability index. Now, the teachability index, there's 2 variables to it. So the 2 variables are, what is your willingness to learn and what is your willingness to accept change? And they both have to be 10 and 10, because 10 times 0 is 0. So your willingness to learn, like, well, no matter whatever it is you want to do, what is your willingness to learn this information? You want to learn a new language? What is your willingness to learn to this new language? Right? And like, how you base your willingness to learn and your willingness to accept change is based off of, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up to perfect this craft? One thing I did was I gave up TV. Like, dude, I didn't watch TV, or let me just say this, I didn't watch unproductive TV for almost like 2 years. I just started watching certain shows, but these are all just things that I like to kind of find the message in. But I didn't watch TV for 2 years, and I stopped playing video games for like maybe 3 years. And that was my willingness to learn, specifically your wish is your command, but also being a real estate agent. I'm thankful I've been a real estate agent for 3 years, working full time, being a productive agent. And I'm so thankful for that experience, but I'm also thankful for that process. But um, what is your willingness to learn, right? You got to be a 10 to be willing to learn whatever it is. You want to play basketball, you want to be an entertainer, you have to have a high willingness to learn whatever it is that you want to do. The next thing is you have to have a high willingness to accept change. For me, it was reinvesting the money that I was making. And that was one thing I did have to change, right? When I started seeing these nice commission checks, I was ready to enjoy the money, not, I wasn't reinvesting in marketing and really reinvesting and getting that deals consecutive, keep things coming in, keep things going. And that was one thing I had to overcome. I had to start prioritizing my money, start setting things aside. Okay, I made this amount. Okay, this amount has to go towards marketing. This amount is what I can take home. This amount goes towards bills. Like I had to find that change in growing my real estate craft with the money I was making. So there's so many things that's going to come up and you have to just keep that in mind, right? Someone is going to come up to you and may say something crazy. But for me, I always reminded myself, I'll stop, like, hold on, before I start judging this person, high willingness to learn, high willingness to accept change. Because at the end of the day, no matter what this person is saying, I'm going to go do my research and verify. And the crazy thing is if it means something or if it's true to you, it's true. If it's not, it doesn't matter. It's your perception. Move forward. So that's one thing you have to ask yourself for sure. Like, what am I willing to give up to do whatever it is that I want to do? If it's going out with your friends, if it's watching TV, if it's golfing, if it's playing basketball on the weekend. I'm not going to say work out too much. Of course, working out it helps the brain as well. So, but just these unproductive things that you can cut out to focus on where you want to go. Also too, a time and money. What type of time are you willing to put into this craft, and what type of money are you willing to invest? For me, I had to spend a lot of money in real estate fees before I actually started making money in real estate. So, it was, I will say though, I spent like maybe 4,000 just getting started as far as like school, my licensing, um and then my association fees all together probably was like 4,000, but my first deal I did make 8,000. So I that was nice. So the main thing to this teachability index is always being teachable, always being open to new information because you're going to verify it for yourself. Don't forget that, right? You're not just taking in the information and just leaving it at what that person told you because that's your old way of thinking. You're trusting yourself. You're trusting your own mind to verify what's being said to you. I'm telling you, anything you need to find is at your fingertips. I've been doing this for 3 years, man. I enjoy it. Like I always say, Kevin Trudeau says, you've mastered the basics when you want to learn it just a little bit more. So don't stop being teachable, man. It's very important. And also, let me explain this too, because it's very, like I said, these are mental foundations. So you're going to start to feel that clarity in your mind when you're always teachable and you're always open to new information, because this information and the work that you do, it's all helping you grow. It's all helping you overcome this past way of thinking. The way Kevin Trudeau explains it is basically you're clearing up negative neural pathways and opening up those positive neural pathways. And we'll get deeper into the mind and things like that in later videos, but these are just the basic principles, and that's going to start building that mental clarity. So one thing I really love this quote. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If you want things in your life to change, you have to change things in your life. It's just as simple as that. You have to change things in your life if you want the things in your life to change. And the beautiful thing about it is just simply changing your thinking. When your mind is not your body and your body is not your mind, but your mind is what drives the body. So the minute that you start changing the way you think, the body starts moving the way that the mind is operating. So start asking yourself, am I happy where I'm at? And it's okay if you're not, because you can change it. We can fix it. We can flip it. And that's what I'm teaching you. And that's what I'm going to show you guys and how I followed these guides and these principles and information and been able to achieve, certain successes in my life. And you can do the same. So for me, man, it's always like I'm willing to learn this. I'm willing to do whatever it is I got to grow. Okay, and the last thing I want to touch on the teachability index, you do go up and down on the scale, but it's okay because, like I said, there's tons of information out there to keep you on track. But most importantly, you want to listen to your wishes, your command over and over and over again. I still listen to it till this day, even the 3 years that I've been listening to it. But I'm always just because I'm telling you, there's things you're going to miss. There's things that you're not going to grasp all the way. So the more you dig, the more that you study, the more that you listen to this lecture, is the more you build your teachability index. And I'm gonna give you guys just a great few beginning books. So these 3 books right here are all you need. So this is going to tell you about the power that you are. So Kevin Trudeau is going to talk about vibrations. He's going to talk about the universe. He's going to talk about frequencies. And this book goes in detail about that. This is Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. So this right here is basically a representation of the Kundalini energy, or you can call them chakras, and how the energy rises up through the chakras. And when it hits, this is a pine cone, but it's a symbol for the pineal gland. And when it hits that pineal gland is when you find mental liberation, is when you find that divine essence that we all are. And I like to call it the positive side of polarity, because when you constantly live in that negative state of thinking and that negative state of being, you are completely outside of your positive self, your natural state of being. So this is illumination. When they say Jesus was crucified at the age of 33, that's a symbol of him being, your ego being crucified, because you have 33 vertebrae in your spine. And when you hit that pineal gland, it's an electrical shock, right? Santos Bonacci breaks it down when he says the Elohim is basically comes it's electricity. So when you do the chakra work and you do the meditation, there's this spark of energy that you experience, that it like shoots out of you when you go within yourself. And I'll do so much more videos on that. I'll show you the techniques that I did. Like I said, that's the blessing of the energy centers in my last video, but we'll go deeper into that. But this is literally, these wings it represents so much to me, because when you feel that mental clarity, your brain, it's like your bright brain gets sparked, and it like it snaps together. And now I no longer just like feel like part of my brain is not being operated. I'm not using it. Now I'm using all of it. I'm sorry, I got carried away, but so this is what's going to tell you that power and what is inside of you and everything that your human construct is made of and what you're capable of. I mean, you're unlimited, but this book is very good at breaking it down for you. This book is going to give you a set rule of principles to follow no matter what it is you want to do. This book, The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, this book will give you these principles to follow in any type of business or job, whatever it is that you want. This is going to give you the principles to basically put out to attract these good situations, circumstances, and events. I went real deep on Dr. Joe Dispenza's books, but I didn't want to go too much on this one. But this one is great. Just real quick. So just the first few principles. I mean, it's right here. A definite purpose, self-confidence, initiative and leadership, imagination, action, enthusiasm, self-control. So all of this right here is like a path to success, the path to whatever it is that you want to do. The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. And then this book, like all these books, these 3 books is all you need for whatever it is that you want to do. So this is It Takes What It Takes. by Trevor Moawad, rest in peace. He was Russell Wilson's mental coach. And basically, he talks about staying neutral. Basically, his example is play by play. It doesn't matter, right? When you snap the ball, whether if you whether if you get a completion or incompletion, it doesn't matter. We're on to the next play. And it's staying neutral, being in the present moment. And this book is great. It's literally no matter what you want to do, it takes what it takes. So those 3 books is literally all you need to get started on growing whatever it is that you want to do and create whatever it is that you want to create. So the third principle is the training balance scale. Now, this is my favorite principle because it is so true. And a lot of us struggle with these 2 things, right? The when and the how. And the training balance scale, it's 99% thought, 1% effort. Now, in Kevin Trudeau's lecture, he's going to say it's 99.9% thought, where I agree, but we all know it does take some type of effort. And I'm going to break down what that effort is and how it's pretty much effortless. So the training balance scale says that it's 99% thought, 1% effort. And that's really me saying 99% thought, 1% effort. Like I said, Kevin Trudeau says it's 99.9% thought, 1% effort. And what that is saying is, so for me in real estate, and I'm just going to give my examples first, and then we'll go, just a little deeper into that. So the training balance scale, it so the training balance scale, the way it was able to help me. So in my experience in real estate, when all I thought about was meeting with the clients, putting out the marketing, doing the work, writing the offers, when that's all I thought about, my body naturally, without effort, did what it is I needed to do to achieve that. So if I wanted to meet with the clients, I had to be up early making the phone calls. If I wanted to write the offers, I had to be ready and out there showing homes. If I wanted to grow my business, I had to invest into my craft and continuously have that willingness to accept change to be to get to where I'm trying to go. So one side of the scale is what goes inside your mind, how you feel, how you think, the why. So the why is, your thoughts, thinking, desires, dreams, goals, attitude, mental processes, objective, vibration, intention, energy, emotions, motivation. The other side of the scale, what you do, the how, actions, movements, techniques, strategies, plans, activities, physical actions. And so those are the 2 scales of the training balance scale. But like I said, the most important is the thinking. Don't spend all your time on the how, because the how is doubt. The how is a limitation. Because at the end of the day, if you're going off of what the universe is going to bring you, what your mind can conceive, the universe always provides so much bigger. An example that I have for me was one day when I was at home, I was sitting at home watching football with my son. And like I said, I push out real estate. I was putting out ads, doing the content, telling people as much as I can that I was a real estate agent. I'm sitting at home and watching football with my son, and I get this phone call from these clients. They say, "Hey, Derek, we saw your ad on Facebook. Man, we are in a emergency need. I have my wife and I just fell out of escrow. We pretty much had a bad lender. Our real estate agent's not picking up our phones. Now we just need someone that can help us out. Fell out of escrow not too long ago, so we are pre-approved, ready to go." He said that he was willing to work with another lender if needed because of the situation with the lender that he was working with. Asked if I could show him the home on the same day. He was like, "I'm sorry, it's a Sunday." Real frantic. They like I said, they were in escrow, so they were like I think he said they were just a few months needing to be out of their lease. And man, so he was like, "Hey, can you show us this home? We know which one we want. Can you meet us there?" I said, "Yeah, let me call the listing agent and I'll schedule us an appointment." Showed him the home. I had them actually meet with my lender that I was working with. We got pre-approved that next following morning. I submitted the offer that next afternoon. We were in escrow, and this was complete effortless. I mean, granted, I know I had to put out the ads. I had to put out that I like to call it the vibration, the cause and effect. I was able to help these people in a emergency need. And like I said, this was all off attraction. This was all off of what I'm putting out and what I was able to attract back. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't worried about the how and I wasn't worried about the when. At the end of the day, I was doing what I enjoyed, which was real estate. And that was just far more rewarding. And I have other examples where I was able to attract, great deals. But hopefully we'll talk about that later. I don't want to kill too much time. So the training balance scale is the 99% thought, 1% effort, because when all you're thinking about what you want to do, I don't care what it is, your body will start to react to what your mind is thinking, because your thoughts is what's sending chemicals in your body, your heart, your liver, your lungs. Everything inside the body cannot see out, but the brain is what's telling the body what's going on. So if you're telling it it's traumatic, it's stressful, I'm feared, I'm afraid, I hate it here, that's what you're feeding to your body as well. So we have to be mindful on what's going on up here. So the training balance scale is very, very important, right? I get it out there. There's going to be so many people that's going to say, "Oh, it's the effort." But at the end of the day, you have to understand that effort, when you're constantly focused on the how, it's a counter intention. So Kevin Trudeau breaks it down in Your Wish Is Your Command as a radar screen. What you can see on your radar screen is, like, for me in real estate, it's like, okay, I could see my aunt looking to buy. I could see, I have friends that I've reached out to and told them that I was a real estate agent. They say they're thinking about it and they'll be in touch with me. That's what I can see. But like I explained about, that couple calling me, that's outside of the radar screen. So it doesn't matter focusing on the how, because what's going to come from the universe, you don't know. You can't even imagine it. And it'd be so big. I'm telling you, because if you're putting it out, it's going to come back and you're going to have that same thing. Like if you're putting out this, like for me, I would think about me receiving my commission check and going, be just being so excited. And of course, when I actually got that commission check, ah, so it's about being able to hold that feeling and live in the unknown, live in that present moment and set the attention of what you want. Like a perfect example. So when I was working for Redfin, I was struggling just a little bit to get deals, right? So I'm like, I just want to write offers. So I started setting it, because I've already experienced what I didn't want when it came to writing offers. I was able to set the mind or set the intention of what I do want. I want to write offers. I want to write offers. I didn't even care if they was winning offers. I want to write offers. I want to write offers. I wrote 3 offers in that week. Then I said, okay, I need to write a winning offer. I want a winning offer, right? I started setting that intention out. I beat 31 offers. We weren't even the highest in price. We came at 600,000 over asking, and we were third in price, but we had the best terms. And that was at 1.7 million. Done deal. That's on my record. It's about setting that intention and then holding that feeling to draw it back. So that is how the training balance scale work. And of course, listen to Your Wish Is Your Command, because there's so many more examples and information that he's going to break down for you. Okay, so the fourth basic principle, and I'm just going to break this down just real quickly. Like I said, listen to your wishes, your commands, so you can understand it for yourself. But the fourth basic principle to a mental foundation is the 4 steps you go through when learning new information. And I'm going to break it down like this. So the 4 steps to processing new information: unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You know the info, but have to consciously apply the info. That first basic is basically saying, for example, it's like tying your shoe. When your mom first tell you how to tie your shoe, oh, you didn't even know that was a thing. So then she tells you, okay, this is how you tie your shoe, right? So then you start, okay, mom said to cross it here, put the bunny ears, right? So then that's processing or applying the new information. Like I said, with this Kevin Trudeau stuff, you have to apply it. Then there's conscious incompetence. You know what you don't know. Like I said, now you know that you cross it here, you put in the bunny ears. This is the application. Conscious competence. You know what you know. So now this is when you just get down, tie your shoe, right? You got the steps down. Boop, boop, bop, bop, right? Boop, boop, bop, bop each time, right? You're just following that boop, boop, bop, right? Tie it, doop, down, done. Now you get to a point to where you're tying it, not even thinking about it. Sometimes you got to look back down and to remember if you even tied it or not. Now it's a developed habit, right? It just happens automatically. You're doing it without even thinking. Another example is when you're driving home. Most of us drive to work every back and forth, every day, every day. And then some days we get home like, dang, I don't even remember that ride. That was a quick, smooth ride because you've done it so many times. It's just boom, it's just magic, right? It's just that unconscious competence. So those are the 4 steps you go through when learning new information. It's just always at the end of the day, it's just most important to apply it, right? No matter whatever it is, apply it. When I talk about meditation in next videos, apply it. When I talk about these 5 basic mental foundational principles, apply it, because at the end of the day, it's all for you, right? The temple of you, right? Because it's all about you. That's what we're here to do, baby. I didn't want to go too deep into that, but the last principle is master the 4 basic principles. Keep diving into who do you listen to. Keep diving into the teachability index. What's your willingness to learn and what's your willingness to accept change, and how you can tell those 2 variables. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to completely erase out of your life so you can get to wherever it is that you want to go? No matter whatever it is you want to do, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. You have every single thing inside of you to achieve whatever it is that you want to do. I know you feel it. I have friends tell me all the time, man, I feel like I'm sitting on a million. Trust me, if you go off what the universe, you're sitting on far more. But I'm growing through it. I'm learning through it, and I'm here to share and to give information out so you guys can do the same thing. Like I said, I truly believe that this will help the world become a better place. But all we can do is try and see. I'm willing to start somewhere to do something different. Mastering these 4 basic principles for me has strictly helped me with a mental clarity. When I discovered that my brain is a transmitter of energy, frequency, and vibration, I wanted to expand on what helps my mind grow. If I know I can do 100 push-ups every single day, in 3 months my muscles will grow, what does that for my mind? And that's when I discovered meditating. Meditation saved my life, but most importantly, it's how we get back to that inner knowing. It's how we get back to that divine essence that is inside of all of us. And I will talk more about this in my next video. We're going to talk deep into about meditation techniques, breathing techniques. We're going to go so deep into that in my next video. But that's the next step after giving yourself a mental foundation. And now, if you find something else that works for you, that's great. I'm not saying this is the only thing that works. There's millions of ways to the light, but this is just what has helped me, and be able to find that mental clarity to begin to expand my mind and grow to wherever it is I want to go. This is the temple of you. You guys can find me at Derek Christ on Derek Christ 777 on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm Derek Swain or Derek Christ on Facebook. Whatever y'all want to say about that name that I choose to use, I just want you all to know we all have that divine essence, that divine Christ, which I broke down in the last video, from a video of Santos Bonacci breaking down the Christos in your mind. But we all have that divine essence. We are all the Christ. We are all the divine anointed ones. It's just about finding it. And I'm here to give you guys simple, basic principles to find that light. Again, this is the Temple of You, because it's all about you. And yeah, man, let's connect, let's grow. And feel free to hit me in the comments. Feel free to hit me on those tags that I gave you guys, Derek Christ 777 on Instagram and TikTok, and Derek Christ or Derek Swain on Facebook. Man, y'all take it easy. It's always a pleasure. I enjoy helping and learning together. Take it easy.